Hi, my name is Lydia Rayner, and I'm doing my presentation about Sylvia Rivera. Sylvia was born July 2nd, 1951, died February 19th, 2002, and was born and raised in New York. She was abandoned by her dad at a young age and became an orphan after her mother committed suicide when she was 3. Sylvia was assigned male at birth, so when her grandma started raising her, she began experimenting with women's clothing and makeup. She was beaten for doing so and bullied at school. She ran away from home at the age of 11 and became a victim of sexual exploitation. In 1963, she met Marsha P. Johnson, an African-American drag queen and activist, and it changed her life. Marsha was also battling exclusion in the movements for gay rights that did not let her be her preferred gender and express how she wanted to. Marsha and Sylvia were both involved in the Stonewall Inn uprising on June 28, 1969, when people of the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in Manhattan, rebuffed a police raid and completely changed the tone for the gay rights movement. Rivera said in an interview that she did not throw the first drink at the police, but she did throw the second. For 6 nights, she stayed and kept saying, "I'm not missing a minute of this. It's the revolution." She resisted arrest and ended up leading a series of protests against the raid. This was not the first time she was directly involved in activism. Before gay rights, she was involved in the Black Liberation Movement. The Stonewall Inn was a turning point for the gay rights movement because gay prides first started in 1970, but a lot of transgender people were discouraged from participating. Rivera participated in a gay pride parade, but she was unallowed to speak, even though she had done so much work in the past. She decided to grab the microphone and tell the people and other marchers if it wasn't for the drag queen, there would be no gay liberation movement. Were the frontliners, and she was booed off the stage after that. Throughout the 1970s, she frequently tried to work with gay rights leaders who were very reluctant to include transgender people in their advocacy work. The Gay Activists Alliance, formed in response to Stonewall, rejected the transgender people quite a bit. She also fought against exclusion of transgender people from the Sexual Orientation Non-Discrimination Act in New York. The final bill passed in 2002, and it prevents discrimination on the basis of actual or perceived sexual orientation and appointment housing, public accommodation, education, credit, and the exercise of civil rights. Sylvia and Marsha P. Johnson started the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries around 1971. It was a group to be a space to organize and be able to be open about the issues facing the transgender community, and they also had a building for people that needed help and a place to stay. Sylvia was only 19 at the time, but she really wanted to help out all the people that were going through the same thing as her, so she worked really hard to pay rent and feed people. She was very motherly around the house and was always looked up to. She unfortunately had a troubled childhood that followed her into her adulthood. She was homeless a couple times and she had problems with substances sometimes. At one point, she attempted suicide, and her friend Marcia brought her to the hospital to help get her healthy. After her attempt, she left New York and activism behind for a little bit, and she only returned back to the city in 1992 after the death of Marsha P. Johnson. While she was back in the city, she got involved again with the fight for inclusion and recognition of transgender individuals. She started another house that she modeled off of the Star House, and she reconciled with the gay rights movement that was now expanding to embrace the LGBTQ plus community. She was given a place of honor in the 25th anniversary Stanmore in March in 1994. Sylvia unfortunately died of cancer in 2002 at the age of 50, and her partner Julia was with her at the time of her death. Her legacy is continued because of the Sylvia Rivera Law Project, working to guarantee that all people are free to self-determine their gender identity and expression, regardless of income or race, and without facing harassment, discrimination, or violence. 2 blocks away from Stonewall is a street that was renamed Sylvia Rivera Way, and in 2015 a portrait of her was added to the National Portrait Gathering in Washington, D.C., making her the first transgender activist to be included in the gallery.